Today we're reflecting on the movies and the box office for last weekend, but all the movies came out in 2023. 2023 was kind of a weak year for movies. You know, if we compare it to 2010s, it seems that the 2020s is just a weak, year. I know some people will say about video games are pretty strong in 2023, but again, we're talking about movies here, okay? I'm not really, that. Again, I really don't think I sort of criticized some of the biggest games of the year just because I wanted to, because I was seeking attention. I really am sorry for that. I think I was just trying to do what I used to do on this channel and just criticize popular games. But I really had a reason to criticize them because, hey, there were people in America who were doing the same thing, and, but yeah, maybe I have to take my responsibility as because I do have a much more people watching these videos now, much more seriously, and try not to, piss people off over games they never played. But yeah, now we get same thing with movies. I would still say a movie is a flop if it is a flop. You can't sugarcoat it, no matter how much. Okay, Brie Warson's fanboys will admit the Marvels is yes still a flop. It's still gonna lose $400 to $500 million. Okay, heck, it didn't even make back its budget. That's how sad the Marvels did. But yeah, we'll go over the box office. So this is the end of the year box office. So Wonka ends up making a profit, like I predicted. I'm not too surprised, but I bet the guy who said the movie would flop must be angry now. He must be like, "Ugh, I wanted this to flop." I say, same thing with Avatar. Okay, everybody said, "Oh, Avatar was gonna flop." There's no interest in Avatar, but you can't really judge what people want to see. I know, you have sometimes, we say, "Oh, nobody wants this," or "Nobody, asked for this." Okay, obviously, there was a lot of people who did want to see this movie. Okay, a lot of people who did want to see Willy Wonka 2023. As much to certain people online's dismay, the movie has made money at the box office, making $379 million at the box office and having pretty strong ratings at the domestic box office. The movie has made $134 million at the box office. This and made $379 million globally. Next is Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom. This movie still is a flop. The movie held on pretty well internationally. It did hold on pretty well internationally. I'll give it that. But the movie had a 40% drop, but usually isn't too good. But it is the only blockbuster for the holidays, and it's doing very poorly. Okay, compared to Willy Wonka, this movie is performing pretty poorly, and it's the end of the DCU, the end of an hour that no one will miss. Okay, no, I don't think anyone will miss the DCEU, so this is the numbers for a movie that is, doing not too well in China, it's not having good ratings now. Well, but they said the movie is doing pretty well in Europe and Australia. So we'll definitely keep an eye on the international numbers for this movie. I do think the movie will pass $100 million domestically, but it's probably gonna be by barely an amount. It's gonna probably be like The Flash, or it's gonna be a barely amount, simply because of how well it did during the holidays. Okay, how well it did during the holidays. Because of the holiday numbers, this movie did is doing pretty well for its opening. But still a massive box office failure. It still needs to make $510 million to break even, which it's almost halfway now as well. So if it continues doing well internationally, like how it did the first movie did, I think it could possibly make back its money even without China. Because apparently international audiences are still interested in this movie, and there isn't really anything big coming out next month. So I wonder if this movie will continue doing well over the next month. Actually, there's that Mean Girls movie coming out next month, and movies like Migration and Color Purple will gain the international footings next month. But I don't know how that will affect Aquaman's box office this But if it continues doing well internationally, there's a possibility this movie might actually make, you know, be a smaller flop and not the massive flop everybody predicted it was. It seems that mostly American audiences are the ones who do not want to see the movie because of Amber Heard. I think international audiences just do not give a crap at all, and we could be seeing something similar to the first movie for international audiences, but there's still a large amount of people leaving the movie compared to the first movie. Now, next is Mike Grayson, which I said this movie would become a sleeper hit. Okay, I said this movie, and they have the numbers for January of 2024, which adds to around $105 million. This movie is performing very similarly to Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. At the current moment, it is okay. At day 11, Puss in Boots was at 55 million, which means Mike Grayson on day 11 made 59 million, which means this movie is still outselling Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Which, yeah, this movie is becoming a sleeper hit, very similar to Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So this movie is not going to lose money, almost certainly, given its much more budget than Puss in Boots, but it will eventually turn a profit and eventually become a successful movie. I think it'll end up being below Puss in Boots globally, but considering the fact that it's already performing this well ratings-wise on, day-to-day comparison, I know they have this comparison, but Puss in Boots opened 2 days early, so if you compare it, second Saturday was day 11, and second Monday, that's day 11 for Puss in Boots and Mike Grayson. Both movies are doing very similarly at the box office, with all things given as well. We can also add in the Willy Wonka movie, which is going to definitely make more money than Puss in Boots. Another movie they all said was going to be a massive failure, but it just seems you can't root for every single movie to be a failure. Okay, and I'm glad this movie is doing well because it's original anime, it's an original IP. Okay, it's not based off a franchise. Okay, I'm glad the movie's having the ratings it deserves. Next is The Color Purple, which is only domestic numbers. The movie is still, it needs to make a lot more money than this to break even. But I think it'll probably continue doing well throughout January. It opened on Christmas Day, and they don't even have the ratings thing for it because it opened so high on Christmas as well. I think this movie will probably continue doing, having pretty decent ratings. It'll probably continue holding in now. We'll wait and see how it performs over January. But overall, this movie has international numbers going to come out this month. And it's going to probably have pretty okay-ish ratings because there's not a lot of competition usually in January. The Boys in the Boat has also, performed pretty well. Well, making $24 million domestically. There's no budget for this movie of what I've seen, but yeah. It probably is like a $34 million budget or something like that. So yeah. There is no international numbers for the movie. The next is Anyone But You. This movie is having pretty good ratings at the box office. This movie is another movie that was projected to be a failure, but it seems that this movie, which it has just started its international rollout, is gonna release in major markets throughout the month: Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Poland, and Spain as well. Those are the markets it is remaining in as well. It's doing pretty okay in the UK and in Australia. Those are the two major markets for the movie. They don't have any numbers for Romania and other markets as well yet. But the movie is still performing pretty well for a non-franchise movie, all things considered. And we have the numbers for it. So Anyone But You needs to make $76 million more globally to make a profit. Anyone But You. Oh yeah, Anyone But You. That's Iron Quad. Nah, Anyone But You needs to pay for $2 million more. Mike Grayson needs to make $80 million more, which I think is almost totally Aquaman. I think is the one that is concerning of all the holiday movies, and Ferrari was to get to later. Iron Claw again, there's no international. It doesn't open in any international markets except for Germany. Which again, I don't know why they're not tracking Germany's numbers. Maybe they'll try. I think they'll probably try him on Box Office Mojo, but it's only just U.S. numbers at this current moment. It's doing really, really well in the U.S. It's a movie about wrestling, I think, as well. Where it's usually these types of movies don't make much money outside, of course, the movie, the the Rocky slash Creed IP. Okay, basically the Rocky franchise, because yeah, Creed is a continuation of the Rocky franchise. Size. This movie's about wrestling. These types of movies usually don't do too well at the box office, but it's doing pretty alright. It has a pretty good standard. There's no numbers for January 1st. Next is Ferrari, which the movie is a massive failure. No one is going to see this movie again. Isn't too surprising. There's so many movies out, and not everybody's gonna see every single movie. And Ferrari is, did we really need a Ferrari movie after Ford v Ferrari came out? Okay, I get, I get, but did we really need another movie about Ferrari? Okay, like, why? Why? Okay, considering the fact that, we had another movie called Ford v Ferrari, you know, came out years ago. Next is The Hunger Games, which, yes, another movie. They said, oh, it would be a flop. It would be a massive flop. Okay, the movie has continued to perform really well, making 160 million domestically, which is a lot of money. Not as much money as its course predecessors, but it continued to make money at the box office. It continued to have legs at the box office, something you never see anymore. But, the movie continued to make money at the box office. And everybody kind of similar to Wonka was, like hoping and begging this movie would flop. Like, yes, people don't like the fact that, they're releasing another really Wonka movie, but the people still went to go see it. So I guess he can't really judge what the audience truly wants. I guess the Phantom Menace is not truly the end all be all for what audiences really want. Again, they were telling people to go see Space Jam because they wanted to defeat Black Widow at the box office, and Space Jam made even less money than Black Widow did globally as well. So, you can't really take their opinions very, very seriously, okay? Because they wanted you to watch the horrible Space Jam sequel instead, and even celebrating the movie defeating Black Widow at #1 in the US box office, even though Space Jam was even bigger flop, per se, than Black Widow. And also, let's not forget that Black Widow also got the Disney Plus, 120 million Disney Plus sales, which means the movie made only lost like a $4 to $8 million. It's such a small loss. It include Blu-ray and other expenses. The movie did break even and make money. So, I don't know. Well, next is The Boy and the Heron. Made $140 million at the box office as well. And made the most amount of money in Japan. I don't know why they have two South Koreas here. But it made a lot of money in Japan. I don't know if this movie will get a Chinese release. But usually Japanese movies do pretty well in China. The movie released in, earlier this year in Japan and got a translated release for the rest of the world. So the movie made $140 million globally, and Godzilla Minus One again, another movie that did pretty well throughout did pretty well. Godzilla made $46 million. We'll wait to see how well the Godzilla movie coming out this year does, because there's another one coming out this year called Godzilla vs. Kong, New Empire. I think that's what it's called. But it seems that Godzilla movies continue to do pretty well throughout the box office. Godzilla vs. Kong did really, really well despite the pandemic. And Godzilla Minus One did pretty well despite, getting no promotion at all outside of, the creators of the Godzilla series. It really shows you that the Godzilla fan base will still go to see a movie despite there being no promotion. despite most of the fans not knowing this movie exists. Next is Poor Things. There's nothing really known about this movie. It can make $10 million globally. It just, yeah, no, nothing is known. Trolls band together. It did hold on for the holidays, but the second weekend drop was just not good for this movie. Okay, it was just not good for this movie, and this movie will probably not pass $100 million at the box office, almost certainly. It might, but it's not gonna break even. Almost certainly, this movie is a box office failure. Yeah, yes, finally, this IP can be done with. Okay, finally, we don't have to never see a Trolls movie again. Okay, next is Risk, which continues to lose money at the box office. I think this movie is practically done for now. The holidays is over, and there is no Risk comeback like of Elemental or the movies. It did have pretty okay legs, but given its already very small opening, that's not saying anything. Okay, the movie is performing average for a movie in its opening. Compare that to, let's just say, Elemental. Okay, well, Elemental had small drop after small drop after small drop. Okay, you know, Elemental had small drop after small drop after small drop, and then of course after Barbie, it just started falling like a normal Hollywood movie. But Elemental, again, made much more money than expected. Okay, far more money than expected. I think everybody was expecting this movie to perform like this. Okay, you know, but Disney, there's a reason why Disney doing all the movies. Okay, it's because the movies are flopping. Nobody wants to see them. Okay, and this is not more evident than the Marvels and Risk. Okay, you two movies that sort of been certified hits and then they flopped and bombed. Not even the critics could like this. Not even the critics could like this. Not even the animation fans could like this. The Marvels, not even Marvel fans like the Marvels. Like, there's no one that likes this movie. Like, I don't know anyone who actually likes the Marvels. Okay, or anyone who went to see it. Okay, that's the first thing. No one went to go see it, so how could anyone like a movie that no one went to go see? I know some people did go see the Marvels, but no one went to go see this movie. It was a massive flop around the board, and no one went to go see the Marvels. Okay, no one went to go see the Marvels. Okay. And that's it about this video. So will 2024 be a promising year? Okay, I'm going to predict the successful movies and non-successful movies based off last year's box office. Okay, Mean Girls are always predicting that movie will do pretty well. Argyle, we're always seeing ads for that movie. The real reason Turning Red. Alright, Turning Red never got a release date. Bob Marley, One Love, Madame Web's would flop. Almost certainly. Doom Part 2 should do pretty well. Kung Fu Panda should do pretty well, I think. The re-releasing Wonka at the box office. Not really going to track Wonka's re-release because, again, Wonka did not get a theatrical release before. Off of the Kings should flop. However, Ghostbusters do pretty well, considering the fact that the fan, it's gonna continue what the fans want from the franchise. So, unless it costs like $400 million to make, it should do pretty well. If they keep the budget down, okay, to like 90 to 100 million, like Afterlife, it should do pretty well. Godzilla, even someone who doesn't like my Ghostbusters, like my mom, said they liked the last Ghostbusters movie. Okay, even people who do not care for the original movie liked Ghostbusters Afterlife. Okay, so Ghostbusters Force and Empire to do pretty well. Uh, Godzilla vs Kong should do pretty well, given the fact that Godzilla, versus Kong did pretty well, and Godzilla -1 did pretty well at the box office. This, don't know. I think Garfield should make money. Me, uh, Inside Out, yes, I think Inside Out is gonna make money. Me and Quiet Place will make money. Despicable Me 4 is gonna make money. Deadpool 3 will probably make money. Me, me. Don't know about any of these movies. Don't know about any of these movies. There are 50. Haven't seen any trailers for them. Yeah, Jokers will do pretty well. And Sonic should do pretty well. I think also the Lion King should do pretty well as well, given the fact that it is the holidays as well, and Karate Kid, will ring out into the holidays. But again, we don't know if these movies will, keep these dates because again, or any new movies will come out because a lot of the non-franchise movies are not really known. They don't really, you don't get pre-release dates and say, oh yeah, get hyped for this movie. Please. Oh, Batman is 2025. I'm going to do 2025, but that's it about this video here. Goodbye.